I can drop this game. I have millions of games that I can play. I don't have to play your game. When people actually stick to their guns and say, hey, I'm not playing your game anymore, these companies have to react. We're getting bunny girls in Nikkei, and we're getting new costumes in Stellar Blade? Say it ain't so.
News to talk about today in regards to...
Wait, Helldivers player count plummets? They just got their whole game back. They got their whole game, they defeated Sony, got their whole game back, and then threw it away? What's going on?
Stellar Blade and Sony censorship, and Shift Up deciding to release some previously unseen outfits for Eve in the game Stellar Blade. I guess they are craftable costumes that you can create for her in the game. There's still some controversy about this, though, because some people are saying that there are other alterations they're making. Some people are viewing this as like a massive...
So, he got community noted. I was actually going to say that. So, the discourse around this is that we somehow got Sony to uncensor the outfits, and that's not true. We did not get them to uncensor the outfits. And I also want to say something about this, too. Shift Up did lie. Shift Up absolutely lied about this. They claimed that the skins that were in the game were a design choice. That is not true. They uploaded the game, like the game came out, right? And then they uploaded a patch that changed the game. The stores started selling out of the physical version because on the physical version, you could detach your system from the internet and actually play before you updated your game to get that patch that censored the skin. So Shift Up had the uncensored skins on the disc. You could play with the uncensored skin, but if you updated your game, you would have the censored skins. It is not a design choice if it has to be changed with a day one patch. Because if it was your choice, you would have had it day one like that on the disc. You pushed the patch, which censored the skins. So don't tell me that Shift Up didn't lie. And then Sony did nothing to correct the record. So Sony is just as guilty. Sony is one of the worst companies when it comes to consumer rights and consumer service. Instead of fixing their garbage joysticks on their $70 controllers, they made a $250 Pro version controller where you can pay extra money on basically a subscription, if you're unlucky, of new joystick modules that you can just slide in. You can just take the one out that doesn't work and put the new one in. You gotta pay for it, of course. They're not gonna start using the trillions of dollars that they have to make better controllers. No, you're just gonna pay them extra for a controller that allows you to take the dead sticks out, buy new ones from Sony, and put them in. So you're paying $250 for the pleasure of giving them more money instead of them using an asteroid-sized pile of money that they have. They could be using that money to fix the controllers that they're already selling, but no, they're going to make separate controllers that are overpriced and make you pay for those instead. Sony is terrible. Never trust Sony.
Win. But let's just kind of like break this down piece by piece and see what all the controversy and discussion's about. So you can see this tweet from Grums saying, "We did it, you did it. Free Stellar Blade celebrates as Shift Up and Stellar Blade uncensor outfits." Now again, I think this is a bit of a stretch. I'm not trying to be too much of a naysayer, but it's not.
Yeah, Grums is trying to play up what he's doing here. Did his petition have anything to do with it? I don't know. I think the whole Helldivers fiasco and people voicing their opinions, I think, like, so if I had to say whether or not, if the Helldivers 2 debacle did not happen, I don't think they would have ever even thought about giving that petition any thought. I think it was more of the uprising that Helldivers 2 had that forced Sony to allow Shift Up, because the thing is, I'm pretty sure Sony owns the rights to Stellar Blade. So if Sony doesn't want something, it ain't gonna happen. But there's so much discourse around the gaming industry right now that companies are specifically coming out with statements saying, hey, we're not going to have microtransactions. We're not going to have this. We're not going to have that. Please love us. So I think the only reason that companies are adapting, and it's kind of like Genshin, The only reason that companies are adapting is because there's competition. When you have differing opinions and when you have people saying, hey, I don't like being abused by this trillion-dollar company, if enough people come up and say, I'm not taking this, I can drop this game. I have millions of games that I can play. I don't have to play your game. When people actually stick to their guns and say, hey, I'm not playing your game anymore, these companies have to react. Like, there is an ungodly amount of money in this world, but one day it will dry up. And whether or not these companies are being subsidized by outside means and not as subsidized by the players anymore, the thing is, if these companies are being subsidized from someone or somewhere and there is zero return, eventually these companies will have to react. It's like Snowbreak. Snowbreak saw that they were going out of business. They couldn't do that game anymore. And they realized that Nikkei is printing money. Star Rail and Genshin, I mean, while Genshin is for basically children, and Honkai Star Rail is relatively tame in its fan service, but it does still lean into fan service for both genders. The thing, we have to, like, there's a couple things that are going on here. We have to stop buying games that suck. We need to stop supporting people who hate us and who label us as things that aren't true. And we need to stop pretending like sex doesn't sell when we are literally mainstreaming the idea of selling sex at the same time. Like, you can't be for sex positivity but then tell companies that they can't put sexy girls in games because you're telling a sexy woman that she's not allowed to make money off of her body, at the same time saying that she should be allowed to sell her body for sex. How does that make any sense? It doesn't. And it's just holding everybody back. You're telling sexy women that they can't be involved in sexy games, at the same time saying that they should be at home spreading their beehole. I mean, there's a disconnect here. And that's why these companies are finally having to start to react, because you can only be detached from reality for so long before everything starts crumbling in on itself.
That they've uncensored things, it's that they've created or altered, I guess, already existing outfits that you can now get in the game.
Yes.
I don't know if this is something...
This bunny girl skin, or this is a recolor of the bunny girl skin with more skin showing around the crotch, and chef's kiss. I love it. It's locked behind the new boss rush mode, so it's kind of like an in-game reward. So that's probably why Sony is allowing it, because Sony is just like, oh, gamers are stupid, gamers suck, so there's no way they're even going to be able to get to that skin anyway. Whereas the bunny girl skin was very easy to get. So, and it's a bunny girl, and, you know, Playboy is not really around anymore, but Playboy was huge, and Playboy it's a, you know, the patriarchy and all that garbage, so I could see why Sony would push to have that censored. I think the reason why this is allowed, can we get a representation of this? Oh my god. Oh, that is beautiful. Oh my god. So this is like on the level of the bunny skin now. This is like the level 2 bunny skin. This is like the most revealing skin in the game. The bunny skin was almost the most revealing skin in the game, but now this is the most revealing skin in the game. So I'm kind of torn on this, because this is a recolor of the bunny skin, but now they've covered up her legs with the stockings. And, you know, I'm a fan of stockings on chicks, but here's the thing. If they really wanted to win their fans, if they really wanted to win their players back with oh my god, the heels. And what are those? What? She just got red rubber bands around her ankles? I mean, it's hot, but I'm not gonna... if they really wanted to win back their goodwill, all they had to do was just... I mean, these new skins, yes, absolutely. But all they had to do was just add a toggle. This is a mature rated game. $70 mature rated game. that you have to buy a $600 box to play and pay $70 for a controller, and then $70 more when your analog stick dies, or $250 for a new Pro controller that has the replaceable analog sticks, and then $20 to replace your analog sticks. You see what I'm talking about here? Like, you're paying out the ass just to play this game. And then Sony has the balls to censor the game. No, it's a bunny suit, and that's like Playboy, and that's the patriarchy, so we can't have that. If I pay $70 for a video game, it should blow me. It should do my taxes. It should make me a sandwich. All right? I'm paying $70. In this economy, I mean, this game should bend over and spread for me, if you know what I'm saying. I mean, $70. Like, these companies think that with this money's just falling out of our ass. And it's like, no, I paid you. You give me what you promised me. You're working with Shift Up. Shift Up promised uncensored skins. You didn't correct the record. Game comes out. They push a one-day patch to censor all of this. And you wonder why people are mad? And you wonder why a 90-year-old man is going on Twitter and going, give these gamers back the titties. Give them back the tits. Gorbachev, give us back them tits.